I usually don't like it when comic book movies try to be super realistic and stray away from all the silly aspects of comic books, which makes it cool. But I feel like Christopher Nolan's Armored Avenger series does it really well. Christian Bale is a phenomenal Antonio Stark. Tony's this billionaire playboy who has to keep himself at arm's length from everyone else because he's secretly really depressed and doesn't want his loved ones to get hurt because of villains. And he struggles with his two identities as Iron Man and Tony. And hilariously enough, this film does address the fact that this guy must never sleep. It takes about 50 minutes to actually get to him suiting up as Iron Man, but I feel like it's definitely worth it. The suit's design is so good, it's so big and industrial, you can believe someone is in an actual Iron Man suit and it's not like skin tight to him. They gave him a voice filter, which everyone clowns on, but I honestly never really had a problem with the voice distortion thing, because it actually helps him protect his identity. Iron Man Begins is a very solid film, even though at the time a lot of people were confused that this was a sequel to Iron Man and Lad. Michael Caine is the best actor to ever play Jarvis. He's got the look, the mannerisms, the serious tone, while at the same time, he is so funny and witty. John Hurt is magical as Happy Hogan. He literally looks like he jumped off the comic book. At the time, people thought it was very weird that Morgan Freeman, of all people, is going to play Nick Fury. But it definitely worked out in the long run, and he's so cool in these films. Like how he helps Tony get back Stark Industries from the incompetent Eric Lynch, and then helps Tony make the armors. Liam Neeson is great as always as Gene Khan, rescuing Tony from Afghanistan and helping him recover with the Ten Rings. It was like an organization of like monks and stuff. And it's a pretty clever twist that the Mandarin is just a title that's the leader of the Ten Rings that eventually Gene gets. It's a unique workaround so you can still have the immortal, all-powerful Mandarin. But it didn't work when they ripped it off in the DCCU, with Derek Powers and the Lazarus Corp and the fake Ben Kingsley, Ra's al Ghul. Then they backpedaled to actually have the powers and junk with Robin and the Lazarus device. Either way, Gene uses the Ten Rings because he wants to burn down New York and start again, using the help of Cillian Murphy as the Scarecrow, with his fear toxins messing up the town. And Cillian Murphy is literally perfect idea to cast as Scarecrow, and he is in all three of these films. Despite this, he's laughably underutilized. Like, he doesn't get the full Scarecrow costume until the very end when he's riding through the town on a horse in the fog, so it's impossible to see the full costume. Then he gets tased and disappears from the film. In Armored Avenger, he makes such a quick cameo, I kind of forget he's in this film most of the time. And then he makes a cameo as a judge in Armored Avenger Rises and still never gets caught. Armored Avenger is seen as one of the best superhero films of all time. It might be a tiny bit overrated, but it still is great. Heath Ledger was a very unusual choice to play Justin Hammer, but it definitely worked out, proving that Heath is a phenomenal actor, tragically right before his sudden death. Even with the opening heist with everyone dressed like past presidents, with Justin wearing a Richard Nixon mask, much like Cesar Romero. Justin's plan is very American Psycho meets Fight Club, where Justin causes a lot of destruction and chaos as the Titanium Man, blowing up buildings so he can collect insurance money, and then sell the escape boats to the 1% and people in poverty to prove that they would blow each other up, just so he can prove a thing. He doesn't even want the money. And that card is very solid as George Tarleton, and despite Justin blowing him up, he does fix him up to become MODOK. His effects are really good, but I feel like he should have definitely been in the first film so they can set up his new personality more, because it feels a little too much like a blatant switch, instantly from George to MODOK. Not the biggest fan of the copycat Iron Man. I get that, yeah, it would cause a lot of problems having people run around as Iron Man. But I would have liked it way more if Tony helped guide these people rather than completely shut down the idea of them, because the city definitely needs them. But Iron Man takes the blame for what MODOK did to try and save George's reputation, which leads into Armored Avenger Rising, which a lot of people, especially at the time, didn't know really what to think of it. I liked it for the most part, but it definitely did have its problems. One of those problems is not Anne Hathaway as Patsy Walker, the Hellcat, who's good in the role, and I really wish she was in the first two films. because she has pretty good chemistry with Tony. Tom Hardy as Whiplash might not be the most accurate comic-to-screen adaptation, and he's definitely the one who's hurt the most by the fact that these series needs to be so realistic, even with it being a rehash of the first film, with even him being, "I am the Mandarin." But he's still a really good villain with understandable motives. I know more people give him flack for his voice than the Iron Man suit, but I never really had a problem with his Sean Connery in a gas mask voice.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
Whiplash is just endlessly quotable in this film.
Have we started the fire?
Yes, the fire rises.
Or, you think Iron is your ally? You merely adopted the Iron. I was born in it, molded by it. And with his whiplashing, he's able to actually take down Tony and dump him back in the Afghanistan prison, leaving him with a cheap battery for a heart, and he uses the arc reactor as a bomb to take out New York, exposing what really happened with George. But luckily, Tony rises to the occasion. In a cave, he builds a new arc reactor with a pile of scraps and a new armor, which helps him escape the cave in the 10 Rings, managing to get back to New York, and this film is pretty solid. And then twist villain, Madame Mask is the real Mandarin, the real mastermind, not Whiplash. She was the kid who escaped the cave and not Whiplash. And the twist is done so poorly, it's not set up at all. The twist is dumb, the ruining of Whiplash's character is dumb, she's taken out by accident very easily, to the point of why bother. But the bomb's still ticking, so Tony grabs the bomb and flies off in the armor. But he gets caught in the explosion. Or did he? And the film really should have just ended right there. Like, oh, did Jarvis actually see Tony? We did see earlier that Tony was experimenting with autopiloting the armor. Did he manage to hop out of the armor last second? Was he actually still in the armor? When he dramatically put the armor back on and grabbed the bomb and flew off, did he take a second to stop off at Stark Manor and hop out of the armor? But no, they just give it away, he's fine. And faked his death. Of course, the thing these films will never live down is the fact that they had Joseph Gordon-Levitt as John Blake. Stark Manor's turned into an orphanage, which he runs. It's revealed that his real name is Lad, and whoa, he finds the Hall of Armor, then cuts the black no iron lad for you. But let me know your guys' opinions of this trilogy down below, as well as hitting that like button and the subscribe button.